Hello and welcome. I'm Sylvia Hartman, the creator of Modern Energy, and I welcome you, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Today, I wanted to tell you about life after cancellation and about my new understanding of who I am and what I'm about. And that has come about thanks to Star Matrix. Now, I am fully aware that I am the creator of modern energy. And that in and of itself has been a problem for, you know, normal person like I am in its own way. And it's caused a problem along the way in many ways, a disturbance, if you will. Let me start there at the beginning, really. And that takes us back to exactly 30 years ago now. We're coming up to that very moment when it happened. I was doing animal behavior research, specializing in the relationships between people and their companion animals, and was looking for reasons why these relationships can be disturbed. And I had this big moment of insight, and I discovered the reality of the energy exchanges between at least social mammals, shall we say. But I discovered the reality of this. It was super exciting. It was it was the huge missing X factor finally explained and led the way instantly into solutions for problems in relationships that had just never existed before. I wrote these solutions up in the Harmony program in 1993, and in huge excitement presented it to my dear learned colleagues at the time, and got instantly cancelled, full on cancelled. Long, long before it was fashionable to be cancelled, I got cancelled in 1993. Cancellation sounds harmless, but when you're the person to whom this happens, it is actually extraordinary. It's an extraordinary thing because every person has their sphere of connections where they have their friends, their work colleagues, and altogether these things are basically their life. And when you get cancelled, all of that just winks out of existence in an instance. And just doors slam in your face everywhere, and you find yourself in this weird space. And the people who used to be your friends are no longer talking to you or are actually, shit talking you. It's just extremely distressing and disturbing, especially when it happens as the result of presenting some research findings which could really move the field forward massively in an instant and alleviate so much unnecessary suffering and contain all these wonderful new research directions within it. That's doubly shocking, if you will. You get cancelled because you've done something wrong. Um, perhaps you can kind of live with it better and it makes more sense. But when you get cancelled for doing something right and good and true and holy, it's just a whole new level of madness, really. And so I haven't really thought about this too much other than to try and explain to people why I'm here and why I'm doing what I'm doing since that happened. But thanks to Star Matrix, which is it's just an extraordinary thing. I absolutely haven't even touched 5% of what you can do with that and what it can do for a person. Even though we've been doing this for 3 years now, it's just extraordinary. It's an extraordinary thing. I recently wrote Starline Therapy, which is the forward-moving advanced therapeutic applications of Star Matrix. And that book is going to come out on my birthday, on my 64th birthday, the 23rd of August this year, 23, which is awesome as well. Yeah, exactly 30 years after the original Star event and the cancellation that followed it. And Starline therapy in particular is sort of it's an essential result of doing Star Matrix. So in Star Matrix, we're focusing on the best moments of our lives. And of course, my moment when I got it, how this energy thing works, is number one on the list. I don't see how you can top that, but I'm looking forward to being proven wrong about this. There might be something even better. Who knows? Still out there. Yeah. So we start with the star events in our lives, and they have a habit of connecting up with each other. And that forms these constellations of related star memories. And eventually you come to be able to look at your entire life, and that's starline therapy, in a whole new way. And you create connections between sort of places that were not connected at all before, and where all the information from that time was lost. And for me, this time during this cancellation time, that was like this dark bubble where there was just only misery and suffering there. But thanks to Star Matrix and the connections that happen naturally as you think about your life, this became changed. And when that reconnected for me, I had a personal, massive aha moment. And I finally realized what my job title is. And that was hugely important. And I believe it is hugely important. And this is why I'm here to tell you about this. When you start talking about energy and love, people naturally try to either put you up as some kind of a prophet or a guru or a leader or a teacher, or they put you down for the exact same reasons, because you can never trust a prophet or a teacher or a guru or a healer. And that's fair enough, because I never, ever wanted to be a guru or a teacher or some spiritual leader or anything like that. I was like, oh, grr, arg, I was given this thing and now I've got it and now I've got to do something with it. You can't not when that happens to you. But I didn't know where to place myself or what to do with myself in my self-concept, in my conscious understanding of what I'm doing. But there came that wonderful connection star event that connected this cancellation, the experience before and after. It came back together, and I understood what I've been doing, what I am. And what I am is a crowd-funded researcher of that forbidden topic, the third field. See, there is no university who will give me a grant. There is no government out there who's going to fund me to the tune of millions and millions of dollars to do further research into this thing that I had discovered and which is forbidden in science as it stands right now and is denigrated, forbidden. It's outside of the current matrix of thought. However, there were then and there are now some people who believe that the research that I want to do is valuable and that I should be allowed to continue my research. Now, you can't do what I do if you have a job that sucks up all your energy in order to pay your bills. It's not possible. You know, it is just literally impossible to try and do that. And also, you know, with my mind constantly being on these fascinating things that I have discovered and the practical applications. This is extremely important. I'm not just a theoretical researcher. Soon as I've discovered something, I immediately go into real life testing to see if this is going to be practical, if it's going to be helpful, if people can use that right now to their benefit, to stop being so stressed and start becoming happier, more empowered. That's hugely important to me. It's hugely important to me. I don't want to wait 30 years to help a person to stop crying every night in despair and loneliness. I don't. I want them to stop now. But yeah, so back in the day, that concept was just really not available, but it is now. And now I've understood it. I am a crowd-funded researcher. People have funded my research by buying a book, by joining the GOE, by taking a GOE training, by doing a masterclass with me. That's how this whole thing has worked ever since 1993, how it's working now, and how it will continue to work. And I absolutely love that. I love it. I never quite knew how to feel or think about my customers because I don't feel that they are customers. I'm always saying this to the team and everybody else. We're not selling plastic buckets here. We're doing something else. We're doing something that nobody else in the world is doing. We are literally trying to scientifically research love and its effects and how it works and how we think about it, how we talk about it, how the whole thing, how human beings really work. And so the people who funded my research and have funded it all along, all this time, every single person who's bought a single ebook or even a single book on Amazon or from someone else, they are my patrons. They are my patron saints. These few people have allowed me to motor on and continue to research and find new things and slowly build this new thing that I call modern energy, the new third field, this new science of love from the ground up. And when I realized that, my gratitude was just insane. It was immense. And it just flashed all through time and space, right down to the very first people who ever bought what wasn't even an ebook back then in 1996, attached to an email, a document, a .doc document of Project Sanctuary, and send me a check in the mail that had to clear for 28 days before you could actually use it to buy some shopping. Wow. I am so super grateful to all these people across time and space. And there was this like huge click of, oh my God, thank goodness now I know what I am. That's what I am. I'm a crowd-funded researcher. I got cancelled from the establishment, found some people who believe in what I'm doing and who are supporting me and continuing to support me in my endeavors to bring the truth about energy and love into the modern world in such a way that the modern human people can understand it, that it makes sense to them, and that it generates techniques and methods that are solid, that are real, that can really, really help people once they start to apply them. So I am super happy. I'm super grateful. I can now say at the end of these videos, please support my work to make the world of human beings a happier place, a better place, a more realistic place, a more reasonable place, and above all else, a more loving place. Please support my work. Buy a book that you find interesting, that you're drawn to. I've written many different things on many different topics, including fairy tales and novels. Oh man, please join the GOE. It's really very reasonable. And a small part of that comes to me to allow me to go forward with my investigations and pay the ever-rising bills. And the rest goes to keep the GOE alive. And that's also the idea for, I'm 64 this year, so when I kick my bucket, that my life's work isn't lost in time and space. There would be many who would love to lose it. There would be many, all those people who cancelled me back in the day, and so many more who really don't like the challenge I'm holding up to so many entrenched dogmatic ways of thinking about how human beings work and what they need to be supported so that they can thrive, so that they can have better relationships with each other, and above all else, to be stronger and happier inside. And hopefully at some point turn that corner to awaken to the extraordinary beauty and amazingness of life as a human being. Once we break out of that horrible matrix, that soulless, loveless, heartless, inhumane matrix in which we live, that I call the hard. That was impassioned. But yeah, passion is energy. I have never lost the love and the passion for that wonderful thing that I saw in the Harmony program. How these energy exchanges work and how we can have better lives, better relationships when we improve the flow of energy inside of us, in, through, and out, but also in our communications and relationships with others. There should be simply more energy, and that's just another word for love. Love is real. It's very real. It makes and breaks incarnations. It exists. And it is the way out of the old matrix that's had its day and is crumbling under the pain, stress, and suffering of its inhabitants. So, I am a crowd-funded researcher in the third field, and I absolutely love it. We need the third field. We need bigger crowds, not just to do more funding. Good grief, no. We need bigger crowds of people crying less, being less stressed, getting less angry, having their own aha moments about themselves, who they are and what they're all about in this lifetime, in this incarnation. Me not having to struggle with the idea of, oh God, people try and make me into their guru, blind follow the leader thing. Not having to struggle with that anymore and saying, no, I'm just a researcher. This is what I do. I research. And in return for your funding, I provide you with what I've learned. And funnily enough, that also then ties in with, I always think of this as an extraordinary adventure, and myself as an adventurer, an explorer, a real explorer. And yeah, back in the day, the explorers, they used to have their supporters, they used to have their patrons. They were crowdfunded by certain people who would buy a ticket to hear their latest report, or who would actually put money up front so that the expedition could be launched, and the supplies could be bought, and the ships could be bought, and the sailors could be paid. And that was just the same thing. It's like patrons gathering around an artist, and they buy their paintings so that the artist can go on and evolve and produce new and amazing things. And that's just such a essential and ancient and established and wonderful thing. Such a wonderful thing that people have been doing this ever since there've been people. And I'm one of those lucky people who is crowdfunded by the other people of their own generation. So I am super, super grateful. The poor artists that died in their starving towers, like Mozart and so many others, they just never got to the point where they had their patrons, their crowd funding them so that they could have gone on and done so many more wonderful, wonderful things. But as I say, I am seriously blessed. And I want you to be quite aware that I am talking to you who is listening to my video. I'm talking to you now. Just giving me attention is already an amazing gift. Thank you. If you are a GOE member, my gratitude is even more profound. And if you're one of the patrons of my art who buys a book, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. May it be an object in your library that will shine and glow and give love to you now and forever. So, yeah, this was a wonderful experience for me. Thanks to Star Matrix. If you haven't started with Star Matrix yet, please, please do so. Allow yourself to be just surprised time and time and time again what you learn about yourself, about the world, about your destiny, about who you really are. And every weird question or conundrum or reversal, like I don't want to be a teacher, I don't want to be a guru, ugh. Every one of those relieved and some truth coming into the game makes your life easier and makes it easier for the next thing to find out. And that's, of course, the whole purpose of Star Matrix, really, to make it easier for ourselves to have more and better star events in the future. So thank you so much for listening to me. I do hope you found it interesting or entertaining. If you do, please share, please like, please leave me a comment. Please leave me a comment. This too is a part of helping me continue to do my work, and I promise with my hand on my heart of energy that I will continue to do my best to bring us new and beautiful insights, methods, techniques, structures, and patterns that will bring more love into the world. Thank you so much. And I'll see you soon. Bye for now.